Hello my friends and welcome to a very special From Good to Great. This is one of the tactical puzzles which you can find in the tutorial section of the game. That's where they currently live. And this is the latest version of the game in where they made this puzzle harder. They made it even harder than it was in the base version of the game. And so this puzzle's called Double Strike, and a lot of people are getting stuck on it. A lot of people are saying it's impossible. It's not impossible, but it did take me a good hour and 45 minutes to work out, which that's a long time for me. That's more time than I usually need to solve a problem like this. And I thought I'd do a From Good to Great on this puzzle, not just to show you guys how to solve it, but also there's some very interesting exploits. Some of them quite degenerate being used here. So, without further ado, this is Double Strike. Let's get started. So, first things first, we can deal with this side of the map first. Easy enough to do. Move your APC? Is that the right terminology? It's a recon car. Move it up here. And this is the first exploit which is tripping everyone up. If you move an artillery and it unpacks, because it's an artillery, it loses its attack token because it's not allowed to attack and also move at the same time. It's allowed to attack then move, but it's not allowed to move then attack. Now, if you move this artillery around this enemy into the city tile, it stays as a truck. And the funny part is, the truck is allowed to attack because it's not artillery. So if you were using a machine gun truck or similar, you would still have your attack, which I'm not sure in what universe this would be useful to you, but you can move an attack with an artillery if you move it far enough so that the artillery would not undeploy. If the artillery undeployed, then you would lose your attack token. In this case, it's being used so that you keep your attack token, so you can then mount the artillery in a train, and you can then send the train up here so that the Stuart Emile will retaliate and destroy it entirely. Right, the next step is to move your infantry in to attack this infantry here. Then use your tanks. Now, there's a heavy weapons team here that will do 8 damage to anything that it ambushes. So now your tank is down to 7. You can run it in here and get it killed. You need to make these 2 steps because otherwise you will not have the free core slot you require to split this bridging tool, which is an important move which you'll need to do later. Okay, with all of those eliminated, you can now move your recon car up here and bomb this. Now, this is not enough damage for the recon car to push them out of the tile. You need this train as well. So, in order to use the train, what you need to do, move the recon car here 1 space, so that this tank can now destroy these infantry. And this is the overrun exploit, which I've talked about before, which is we should take 1 suppression here, and sometimes you'll be stated to take some damage. But if you overrun, you never take any damage. So this tank has not taken any damage or any suppression. So this is like the overrun exploit, as it were. Okay, with these 2 infantry removed, you can now get your train into position. And then you can push these guys out and capture the first tile. Okay, so now we're working with what we've got left here to take this area. First thing to do, split your bridging tool. Now, previously you could win this by moving your flame tanks here, and that would be enough to kill this infantry. Then you could move this vehicle in here, and that would be it. That no longer works. That's been patched out. Now, this was the bit that took me an hour to solve. I'm not going to lie. So what you need to do is you need to switch your anti-aircraft gun into anti-tank mode. Now move your recon car next to this unit here, using the road. Now attack these boys for 2 points of damage. Okay, so now they're down to 13. Because I figured if you can't push them out with these tanks, there must be another unit that can reach the city. This took me 45 minutes to reach that conclusion. This recon car could reach if it could get through here, because the road allows huge movement for a recon car. And herein lies the trick. Now this unit is sufficiently crippled that the recon car can push it. Alright. Using the road, we're in position, and you can now see, look, I have 2 more movement points. Because the road is actually of huge benefit to a wheeled vehicle, especially a recon car. Now you can move your 2 flame tanks into position. Now they're in position, you'll notice that they are doing just ever so slightly more damage than they would have done previously. And now the enemy infantry has been pushed out of the city, and now we can move this recon car into this position to win the mission. It was a very interesting puzzle, and it took me, as I said, it took me an hour and 45 minutes to solve it. The biggest part of my issue with solving it was that I wanted to do what other people had done, and how this puzzle was solved previously, which was to move the anti-aircraft gun into the city tile. But it wasn't that simple. This method could have been used to complete the old version, but the old version had a slightly easier method, which they patched out. So this is actually the correct way to get the job done. But yeah, the truck exploit is kind of interesting. It means that if you've got an artillery and you give it one of the trucks that can attack, the the heavy-wheeled machine gun trucks. I go to artillery here. Actually pick something tracked. You know, if you actually pick a truck that's actually got attack values, it means that if you move your artillery far enough that it can't deploy, you could theoretically attack with it. I'm just not really sure in what situation that would ever be useful outside of this puzzle. And of course, if you maintain your attack action, then you can mount in a train and move. That might be useful situationally. If you have just cleaned up one side of a map and then you're going to use trains to move your units to another front line, it might be worth noting that if you position your artillery in such a way that, so say your artillery is here and this is the last city that you're cleaning up, if you position your artillery in such a way that it requires truck movement to get into the city tile, you can then put it in a train and move it. Whereas if you'd moved it closer, you would then undeploy in the city tile, and then you would not be able to get in the train. So there might be a situation or two where moving your artillery in that manner might be useful, might be efficient. But anyway, that's it for this short good to great. Yeah, just a couple of interesting little exploits here. And of course you guys know the other exploits with splitting, i.e. if you split a recon you get double reconnaissance bonus. If you split an artillery you get double entrenchment destruction bonus. If you split a tank or infantry you can get additional mass attack bonuses. Not usually worth it, but it is something that you can do. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. and I'll see you guys next time. And if you manage to solve this yourself in under an hour and 45 minutes, then congratulations, because you are faster at critical problem solving than I am. This took me a little while. Alright, next time.